Scorpio Collective, welcome, welcome. I'm Nikki, your local being tarotist. Just want to start off by saying I'm very tired. How are you doing, Scorpio? And I want to thank everybody, first off, for being here. Thank you for your time, your energy, your likes, shares, subscriptions, donations, any way that you support this space, lovers and haters alike. I appreciate you all. I've already shuffled the cards. So we'll read for the masculine, read for the feminine, then read for the central truth of this connection, for what is next in love for you. I'm getting a couple. I was dreaming about this spider last night, and it was, I was trying to get a picture of it so I could Google what type of spider it was. And it was orange and red, which is the root and the sacral chakra, right? Which you are ruled by, or you rule, depending on the work that you do. The sacral chakra, right? Which is sexual energy. It is creative energy. Just one second. Okay, little misophonia attack there. Maybe somebody's not a morning person here. I typically am kind of a morning person or whatever. But I also work creatively mostly at night, which so with the spiders are the high priestess for me. They're the ones who, they're very mysterious. They craft these webs. They seem nocturnal, and they are ruled by the night and the moon and the mystery and the unseen. And there's just sort of these misunderstood as well. So Piscean energy, third eye, and dreams are very important. And then I have two songs. So I was walking, and I walked through two spider silks this morning, one on the porch and one in the kitchen, randomly. Like and I also have nerve damage, so sometimes I feel like a sensation, so it could have just been that. Could have just been my good old-fashioned nerve damage. But it felt like I walked through a spider web in the middle of the kitchen, which wouldn't make a lot of sense. Like, that's a big area to just kind of spin a web through. But anyway, I digress. So I was getting no doubt, just walking through the spider webs. Leave a message and I'll call you back. Unlikely story, but leave a message and I'll call you back. So there's kind of like this, which also reminds me of, I don't know Gwen Stefani's name. I know, geez Louise. I know Gwen Stefani's name because I just said it. I don't know her zodiac sign. So maybe that is of significance. But that also moves me over to the artist Bexy, and I believe he's a Capricorn. Where he's, I believe it's Hot Steppa, the song Hot Steppa, so fire, active energy, like you're doing your own thing, Scorpio, and I feel like you're leaving some people behind, or some people are not going to be happy about the fact that you're moving on. Could be an ex, could be family, could be friends, right? Air quotes, friends. Could be coworkers, maybe you're getting a promotion, maybe you're moving to another department or whatever. There could just be people around you that don't like the fact that you're succeeding. Most people don't like when Scorpios succeed for some reason. There's usually some jealousy around that. But they got to do it anyway. So I'm also getting from Harry Potter the Whiptail Scorpion. So they don't harm humans. They don't actually have a stinger. They are part of the arachnid family. Or is that a kingdom? Something about kingdom and family. So this could be a lot about you leaving behind people that you were raised around, the kingdom that you were born from, which the Emperor's at the bottom of the central deck, which tells me, like, the Emperor and the Empress, you're born into a kingdom. You're born into an element. And then I imagine 4 kingdoms, and you leave your home, you leave that kingdom, and you go to all the other kingdoms, because the Emperor and the Empress are the magician, the divine alchemist. They are the ones who gather all the elements, and they wield the elements to their greatest good and to create from. They alchemize from that place, the throat chakra. And they sort of like travel. They're the travelers. So you could be traveling, or you could have traveled, or this could be your indication to make a move, like you're moving somewhere else and you're going to gather this information. This could be future or past energy, right? Something about future memories, dreams, prophetic dreams. You could have very intense prophetic dreams. But you're creating and alchemizing from tomato, potatoes. Lord of the Rings. Anyway, I'll always try to find a way to quote Lord of the Rings if I can. And I know I can be what I want to be. Yeah, you're going after something that's very meaningful to you, Scorpio. And I feel like that's where you're going to meet your person. But there are going to be people that aren't happy, and you're going to be like, just leave a message. Unlikely story, but it's like someone could have said something or done something, deceived you in some way, slighted you in some way, been talking behind your back, throwing shade at you, you know, and you just, you're like, I'm a shadow worker, throw some shade at me, I'll just transmute that into, and I'll alchemize that from whence it came into where I'm going. So there is like this very powerful transmutation that you're putting yourself through. You have maybe always put yourself through. You've always been evolving, which scorpions were large underwater crustaceans, and then they made themselves smaller and came up on land. So people get really confused about that. They're like, they're the fieriest because they're in a desert. You're not the fieriest. You're the most fixed. You are a fixed water sign. So, but when you say, no, this is what I want, or this is what I feel, or this is how I am, this is what I like, this is what I don't like, people take that as fire usually. People take that as people being mean or whatever, rude. You could be misinterpreted as being rude or mean because you're just very decisive and discerning, and you know what you like and you know what you don't like. All right. So the other song that I was getting before I trailed off was These Dreams. These dreams, something when it's cold outside. Every moment of the night, I live another life. So there's like daydreams. This is like, you're constantly in this state of in-between, daydreaming. You do a lot of dream work. So you could have a strong Pisces placement. But Pisces, or be dealing with someone who does. Okay. Oh, good. Oh, okay. We're just going to throw those to the ground, huh? All right. So the Three of Pentacles and the Two of Cups. But what I saw here with the Three of Pentacles on the ground, right, because they're iridescent, is two people standing there face to face. Somebody is in like golden, orange, red, warm colors, and somebody is wearing cool colors, blues, purples, indigos. The lion head is here as well. Getting the name Michael or Archangel Michael. And the Empress. Michelle as well, possibly. But we've got 3, 3, and 2. The Empress, Three of Pentacles. That is fixed energy, which tells me the Taurus aspect here is important. But while I was shuffling the masculines deck, Justice kept coming out as well. So Libra and Taurus are both the Empress. So these could be signs that you are dealing with. The Two of Cups. Again, whatever you're pursuing in work, Three of Pentacles, in your community, whatever you're constructing, creating, and like, it's like you maybe have to go to a bank to get a small business loan, or somewhere you have to go to get the tools for Maybe it's a courthouse, right? Maybe you have to like sign some sort of paperwork, you have to do some sort of documentation, something legal with the justice system maybe that gives you the ability to follow your heart. I have not lit this sage in days, and so I just got a very strong whiff of it, like it was on fire. So yeah, I feel like you are really you're protecting your energy fiercely with that lion, because this is whatever you're going for, whatever you're doing it's so healing to the heart space, and your person is there. They're ready and waiting for you. You might meet your person and then be like, yes, now we can put our tools together in the same bag and make this happen. The missing link. Someone could have had like a head injury. That's very specific. But something about the cranial nerves. I was talking about nerve damage. So yeah, somebody could be dealing with some sort of nerve disorder, disease, or damage. Yeah, that's crazy. I keep getting like strong whiffs of sage. Knight of Wands. Just make sure, just as like a cautionary, just make sure that you are unplugging things, turning things off when you leave. That's just a side note. We're not going to give a ton of energy to that. But just with the fire, the smoke, where there's smoke, there's fire. The Knight of Wands. All right. So the Knight of Wands also, so if we take that and we transmute that fear of like, oh, something bad might happen, to on the frequency of alchemy, the Knight of Wands, right? Because we're taking this parasitic energy, which is fear, at its foundation, no doubt, okay? Walking in the spider webs. You're walking through your dream. That's also going to remind me of my favorite movie, Big Fish, where he's walking through the forest and he's getting all the jumping spiders are jumping on him. He's walking through the big, huge cobwebs and spider webs, right? The difference between a cobweb and a spider web is one is inhabited, one is not, right? So this is like cobwebs. It's old news. Old news. Knight of Wands, Knight of Swords. It's like knowing that you're divinely protected, knowing that whatever shadows are thrown your way, whatever dark magic is thrown your way, you're a light worker. You wield this Knight of Wands. Feminines, this is also, you could be dealing with a masculine fire sign, and they are coming in, or they're coming in with that fire energy. A lot of action. The Knight of Wands is Sagittarius energy, and it can be about just coming in with that sacral out front. Like, hey, look at my Knight of Wands, right? But that also tells me there's going to be a lot of passion here. All right, let's see though, because we have the Ace of Cups, there's Justice, ooh, Leo, King, and the Page of Cups. A lot is coming out to confirm this Three of Pentacles for the feminine. The justice system is coming out strong here. Libra energy is coming out very strong here. This is balance, karmic balance. Ooh, ooh. And to clarify, the Empress is the Ten of Cups. So there's going to be a lot of passion here, a lot of physical passion. But we have the Ace of Cups. This is someone who's going to fill your cup. We have the seahorses here. So Neptune placements could be significant. Or again, Pisces energy. A lot of water. Which you are water, Scorpio. So if you or your person have strong Scorpio placements, that's going to be at the forefront here. So even if there is a lot of fire, all right, which cardinal water, which is fire, and water is the other one, Cancer. So that's like the moon energy as well. Pisces is ruled by the moon and works under the moon. Cancer is the moon. Just like Leo is the sun. King of Cups, Page of Cups. We do have Leo here with the Strength card. however you two come together or meet, whether you work together and that's where you meet, or you come together and then create some sort of workforce. Get a little more on that in the clarification. The moon at the bottom. Didn't even see it, but I seen it, right? King of Cups, Page of Cups. You could be dealing with multiple water signs, feminine. You could be dealing with someone who is very in control of their emotions, not in a guarded way. Someone who's not, they understand their emotions. They can express their emotions. They understand their emotions. They've sat with their emotions. So they're just a masculine who's not afraid to do that work and to go, you know what, I'm feeling kind of this way or that way, and maybe that's not the best way to be feeling right now. But they're always going to let you know, like there's not going to be any guards up. They're not going to be like holding their cards to their chest. With the Page of Cups, that's someone, could be a younger water sign, but it's also could be someone who is very new to this and they are not as skilled with their emotions. Now, this could also be someone who's very skilled with their emotions. They just happen to be younger, or they just happen to be new to love. Maybe they were always focused on work and they just didn't have time for love. But now because they've met you, feminine, they're like, oh. And they're going to maybe apply like business strategies to the way that they love. Which seems a little cold, but they're presenting as a lot of cups here. So, Justice, we do have some air energy here, but that's truth. That's communication. So whatever way they're feeling, you're never going to be like, how are they feeling? What are they thinking? They're going to tell you. This is someone who's communicative, and it's always balanced. They ask a lot of questions, but not to gain information to use it against you. They really genuinely want to know about you, feminine. And that is a key. Like, have you ever, feminines, have you ever been out there talking to these masculines and you realize that none of them are asking any questions about you? Something I realized, I don't know, 7 years ago, is I would think, oh my gosh, I'm really hitting it off with this guy. Like, you know, the conversation's so fluid, it's so this and that, and it's so interesting. And then I looked, and I'm like, they're asking a lot of questions, but all of their questions were, what about you? So I was actually asking the questions, and they were just mirroring that back to me. They didn't come up with any of them themselves, and I'm like, Nikki, let's do better than that. All right, 10 of Wands, yeah. Let's do better than that. Putting down the burdens of, could be just casual connections, right? The wands are the phallic symbol. So with that Knight of Wands, it's like somebody could be leaving to come to that Two of Cups. They could be leaving that life, leaving like thug life. Someone could have just lived a little bit of like a life where they gave to those types of connections, which are actually attachments, because connections are mutual, attachments are one-sided. Okay, Three of Pentacles, to clarify the Three of Pentacles, which is the Holy Trinity, right? This is divine assistance. Listen to your heart when he's calling for you. Okay, that's too many. There's that King of Swords. I was feeling that King of Swords with the King of Cups. So this could be an air masculine or someone with strong air in their chart, but they're presenting, this is like, I'm getting like Lord of the Rings, Aragorn, and he is a Libra. So it's, well, Aragorn, I don't know what Aragorn is, but I wish they, and maybe it does in the books if you know, if you've read the books, if you're a nerd, that's cool. Maybe it says like when they were born, because they use our world dates, which is October the 24th, you know, like they still use the date. So I would love to find that out. I'm surprised I haven't done that digging, but I'm not a reader. I'm a cinephile. So through and through. Maybe someone's gonna read to you, or maybe one of you is like you're coming from like different perspectives. Maybe one of you has read all the books and one of you has seen all the movies, right? Like, or that's just kind of like an analogy or a metaphor for how you guys operate. Like, one of you is a more feelings based, you like music, you know, and then one of you is like, you like silence. One of you is a morning person, one of you is a nighttime person. You know, like you're very different, but it's kind of like wherever, especially in work and in life, the tasks, the to-do lists, all of those things, the kind of mundane stuff, where one of you puts the list down, the other picks it up. While the other's resting, the other is keeping watch. So it's kind of like you balance each other out in the way that in the ways that you are different. Your differences actually complement each other very well to get things done. Because there's a lot of wands here that you're putting down, which means the 10 of Wands is someone who's burdened by doing the work for everybody else. This is someone who's like picking up everybody else's chores. You know, Cinderella, night and day. And it's like, I think both of you are just tired. And because you just haven't had any help. And Three of Pentacles is all about help. It's about assistance. And this could be divine assistance, bringing you two together because the universe has been listening. See, this guy right here is listening with the glass. You know, if you've ever listened at the door, like eavesdrop, the universe is like a little, it's like in Charlotte's Web. She helps save Wilbur. So pigs could be significant here. Maybe somebody really likes pigs. That movie Okja is so good. I'm just throwing that out there. But the King of Swords and the King of Cups, I don't really feel like there's a choice. I feel like this is somebody who meets the whole list, right? And with the spider, it's like you can create wherever you are. I'm looking in the corners, like there aren't any spiders there, but I'm like, you know, oh, there'd be a beautiful web over there. So I get like this nesting energy of walking into a space and being able to have that vision, or getting into a connection and being able to have that vision. And this isn't falling for potential, which I think could have been a trap for both of you in the past. This is where you truly just see what you could be in this connection and how you could help the other be their fullest self. And that's wonderful if it's not one-sided. If it's one-sided, it becomes an attachment and you end up doing all the work. If two people come into a connection like that, like, I can help you be the biggest, best, baddest version of yourself, and they're thinking the exact same thing, and that's how you operate, you get stuff done, right? You could have strong Capricorn placements, or maybe be like a Sagittarius Capricorn cusper. There's a lot of like this, almost like you've had your sort of nose to the grind, workaholic a little bit. People may have called you that. They'd be like, you're no fun anymore. Since you started smoking marijuana, those commercials. That's just being misunderstood. People just being like, you're no fun, you're no, you're too fixed, you're too rigid. Your standards, you might be hearing that if you've been single for a long time. Your standards are too high, you're too picky. Good. Be as picky as you want. You can put down the eye color of your person onto a damn piece of paper, burn it, bury it, water it, send it to the ethers, whatever you do, alchemize using the elements. And as long as this is a frequency and you're calling this in, you can call in a specific a person as you want. If you're trying to be like, I want this person that I have a crush on to be my person, and you do that, that's black magic. We don't do that, okay? And that will backfire. So don't do that, okay? Attune to a frequency, and you can be as specific as you want. There are billions of us here. Trust me. They are out there. But I just think that love has not been at the forefront of your mind because you've just been really focused on whatever this dream is that you've been wanting to create. And it's always been like something on the tip of your tongue. There's always been this thing just out of reach that you're like, I don't know what this extra element is. I don't. And it's the movie Fifth Element could be significant here. Pulp Fiction, Quentin Tarantino, I believe he's an Aries. But it's like something just out of reach. It's like, yeah, the alchemist, the magician works with the four elements, right? And by alchemizing them, that is the fifth element, right? It's the higher consciousness. It is consciousness. It is beyond. It's using those to reach the consciousness level of alchemy. And this is the fifth element, Lilu. Mila Jovovich, I've looked up her sign. I want to say she's a Sagittarius, but I could be totally wrong. But her music is really good. So, yeah, like if you're both into movies, like, or theater, it's like one of you does the background stuff, which I'm getting Virgo energy now. Somebody does like all the technical aspects. They're not center stage. So like one of you could be very introverted and be like a tinkerer and work on all of the other stuff in the background, and then somebody is like the face or the voice. So like one of you could be a musician and one of you could be a singer, right? And you're going to work together, and somebody's going to be the voice and somebody's going to be all of the other stuff, right? In a film, there are a lot of components to making a film, in any process. And this is just how my mind works as an artist. You know, it's like one of you is going to stretch the canvas and one of you is going to paint on it, right? Someone's going to build the greenhouse and the other person's going to fill it with plants. Like someone's going to build the home. Someone could be in architecture, or just think very logically with that King of Swords. Someone thinks very analytically, logically, and like by facts, and somebody works by feelings. But together you create something that is abundant. It's overflowing with the Ten of Cups. It's overflowing. My cup runneth over. Hope floats, which he is, I believe, a carpenter. So someone could be a carpenter here. I'm looking at this portrait of Jesus and Mary Magdalene. So there's like, this person's going to be like your right hand person. I'll pull one more. The Tower and the Seven of Wands. That's runner energy. Why are we getting into fear? Because there's been disappointment in the past. That's okay. We have the Three of Swords, Two of Pentacles. You've been doing things alone for a long time. That hyper independence, and in your fixed energy, Ace of Pentacles, Eight of Pentacles. Yeah, you've been doing this for a long time. You've been tinkering away and doing things by yourself for a long time. That's the cycle that you've been in, is hyper independence. So the biggest challenge here is going to be letting somebody else in. And letting someone else in, Scorpios, those of you that are the Scorpios here, letting somebody else in and trusting. You guys are very, very tough when it comes to trusting. And there's nothing wrong with that, okay? Slow and steady. You'll get there. But this person's going to be consistent, because this Ace of Pentacles represents investment. So take your time. You don't have to rush into anything with that Knight of Wands. You know, you guys are... Scorpio can be very fast to or maybe you were in the past very fast to love, and now you're like, that was not love. So it's not that... It's not the love that you're afraid of, or the love that you need to reject or eliminate and release with that root chakra, with the orange and the red. It's not the sexual energy that you need to release completely. It's the way about it the way that you went about it. Because with your person, there should be a lot of passion. You should be very attracted to them, and there should be a lot of heat and excitement and enthrallment is the word I'm getting. Like, you're gonna feel kind of swept up in this, and that might make you want to run. So just that's that Page of Cups energy with the King of Cups. Someone's been loving themselves for a while. They've been in solitude, I feel, and kind of returned to their inner child and doing things that bring them joy. And there's a fear around the heart space that, with that Three of Swords, that this will just be a repeat cycle. Well, take as much time as you need. If it's your person, time is not of the essence, and no one's gonna rush you into anything. If you feel rushed, if you feel manipulated, you probably are, right? Trust your intuition, trust your gut, and if you don't like it, you don't have to give to it. If just one thing is off about a person that you interact with, go back to the drawing board and literally draw them. Maybe you have done those soulmate sketches or something, or you've had visions of this person in your dreams and you're like, something isn't right. That's fine. People that will tell you you're too picky or whatever. No, this dream is your person. And if anyone around you does not meet that criteria to a T, guess what? Go back to the drawing board and adjust your alchemy. Now, adjust your alchemy to be more specific. Do not ever adjust your alchemy to be less specific. Because if you've been single for a long time, you might be like, well, maybe I am being too picky. Maybe their eye color doesn't matter. Or maybe they're... and what you're doing there is you're ignoring those parts of your dreams that told you who your person was, that showed you what they looked like, that what they sounded like, smelled like, etc. Maybe they smell like sage or something like that. They smell like wood or some sort of herb or whatever. Anyway, instead of being like, well, they smell different than I thought they would. Okay, then that's not your person. It's that simple. I don't know. I feel like you need to just be use your epic way of discerning and deciding to narrow down and eliminate all of the others that are not them. Really clear the weeds, because when you plant a garden, there's gonna be a lot of weeds. Clear all that stuff out of there, which a lot of weeds are very beneficial. All right. And every person that comes into your life, even though they're not your person, instead of letting that make you feel disappointed or down on the process or hopeless, use that as tools to be like, you know what, this is telling me what I don't want, and I'm getting closer and closer. So the closer you get, you could be really disappointed because the last person was you thought it was them and it wasn't. That's okay. That's how close you are. You alchemize that person so you can alchemize closer to, and more specifically to, your actual person. So continue to listen to your dreams. Go back to the drawing board. Do what you have to do to release the fear, and trust that this is coming. The Tower is coming, right? So it's everything's about to just sort of some connections are going to fall apart here. They're going to fall out of the way. The more close that you get to who you actually are. I hope that makes sense. This reading was kind of all over the place. But I hope there was something in here for you, Scorpio. I almost said Sagittarius again. So, you could be a cusper. Anyway, thank you again for being here, and until next time, I wish you well.